Hi everyone, this is Kat of Katalyst Holistic Life Coaching, bringing your life in alignment with you. I am a soul coaching oracle and tarot card practitioner, as well as intuitive astrologer, a holistic health practitioner, and yoga therapist. So today I'm here to do your weekly forecast through the tarot and oracle, as well as what's going on in the astrology this week. So this is just a general overall reading for the collective. It's just the energy that is present that you can work with. And this is just meant to help kind of be a sort of map and guide to if these energies do come up for you, how you can use them to empower your actions and be more mindful throughout your week. So if you're new to this channel, welcome. Please subscribe below if you would like to stay updated with new videos. But let's go ahead and get into it. So every week we work with different tarot and oracle cards. So this week's tarot, we'll be working with the Weaver Tarot, and this is the Ascendant edition. I love the contrast of black and rainbow. And I'm sorry if I sound really raspy. I kind of woke up with a dry throat. It's very dry and arid in Montana during the winter, so I apologize if my voice gets a little raspy at certain points. But moving into our cards, we have the Six of Cups in the reverse, the Seeker of Cups in the reverse, Five of Swords in the reverse, and the Sun. So a good way to end with that. Lots of reversals. We are still moving through a couple retrogrades right now, so this could be this reversal energy. But with the Six of Cups, with this clock kind of showing up, it's sort of time turning backwards or just being really focused on the past, because generally this does have to do with our experiences over our lifetime, feeling nostalgia and gratitude and love for those sorts of things. But you could be feeling this energy coming up this week. Maybe there is a person or a situation from the past that you're not quite letting go of, because we do, with this Seeker of Cups, there is kind of this emotional block here. Because this is almost like, you know, there's the wishbone, there's this wish granted, there's this sort of, I feel just like, yeah, it's very emotional feeling. Like there's like this wish, this hope that some of you are really desiring, but something from the past is kind of holding you back. And with the Five of Swords also in the reverse, that really shows a kind of mental attitude of trying to be right, of, you see like the heart and the lungs are all kind of pierced together, and there's a chain around the heart as well. So you could be just really holding on to maybe a hurt or disagreement with someone from your past. It could even go all the way back to your childhood, because sometimes the Six of Cups does represent childhood friends, childhood experiences. So there could be something that you are working on achieving, or you're feeling really stuck right now and you're not entirely sure where it's coming from. So maybe reflecting a little bit on your past experience, and where you might be kind of keeping yourself stuck. If we feel that sense of stuckness, the only way we can ever really shift it is when we start to move ourselves. So this could be a good week to get some creative movement going, something that sort of evokes emotion. So like yoga or dance, movement in the body is something I'm really feeling. Even like speech, maybe like singing. I'm feeling for some of you like there's really like stuck energy in the throat too. That could be what's going on with me. So speaking up more, or maybe if you recognize what this block could be, where this past energy is coming from that you're not letting go of, having a conversation with this person and just finally trying to clear the air, and kind of set the stage, like not so much trying to prove again who's right or wrong, but just giving yourself that like chance to breathe, like letting it go. And who knows, it could shift them. They could wind up apologizing to you. And there's, with the sun kind of finishing out, I really see this like enlightenment. You know, this is someone who's like kind of patient and meditative and really seeing this like inner light. So, and this is also like joy and like a very big yes. So, Spirit is saying that it's really, this is really on your own like personal work, how to choose to move forward in a more enlightened way. Because I feel like the sun is really like shining like into the future, like into, you know, giving you hope, giving you this like sense of drive, to kind of illuminate how you might be holding yourself back in the past and just living in the past. For some of you also, with this sort of holding on, if there's not actually like a person, it's maybe like a situation or just a way of being, but something that was like emotionally fulfilling. Like maybe you're feeling stuck because you're not feeling so emotionally fulfilled anymore. You're like reflecting on good old times, like why isn't life like this anymore? And you're not really open to this new possibility that's coming in for you. You're kind of keeping yourself small in certain senses when you're meant to be, you know, this really like bright shining light. So trusting, you know, not resisting this so much. You maybe feel like you're fighting a battle with the universe, or feeling like the world is maybe against you and you've been having to just fight and fight and fight. And this is just kind of asking you to, again, like let that go. What would it be like if you asked yourself, what would it be like if I just kind of trusted and let things go? What if I, you know, really believed in myself, believed everything was working out in my favor, and that I really have nothing to worry about? So these are just patterns that are, you know, coming up for a reason. But the sun, with this sun card, there is some action here that needs to be taken on your part. This isn't something that's like, you know, passively going to work itself out. The reason you're feeling stuck is on your own energy. It's not something outside that's affecting you. This stuckness is happening so that you can have this reflective time. So enjoy the interruption, enjoy, and use the time wisely to be able to work through this block that you have. Because once you kind of delve back into this creative energy, you know, you're going to maybe see like what you were wishing for isn't something that you really wanted. It's not something that's really fulfilling to you. Or you're going to get a new perspective on how to achieve these things. But just trusting, once again, like it's all there for you. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. So don't feel like this cycle is never going to end, because the clock is always turning. That's one thing I heard in my head. Okay, so let's look into some clarification with Oracle. So we have, the reflective light. So this is the animal medicine card. So this is more like traditional Native American animal medicine stories. So we have the spider medicine in contrary, and the coyote medicine. So spider is seen as like the really divine, like feminine energy. They have a goddess. I can't remember which tribe it is exactly, but they have like a goddess that's Spider Woman, and she's like the co-creator and weaving like the everything together. Um, so with her being in the contrary, I feel like this is really speaking to that reversed Seeker of Cups as well. I feel like you could be having some like feminine energy blockages, whether you're male or female. Um, it doesn't it's not pertaining to just any one gender. Um, but there is this creative block. There is a question of piecing it all together, and maybe you were trying to kind of put this in the background, like back in the shadow, and just sort of forget about it. But the sun is really coming through and just like illuminating these wounds for you, because this is an integral piece of who you are. This isn't just something you can gloss over. Like, your past makes you who you are, and you don't want to forget where you came from, even if it's painful. It's something that just needs to be integrated, but you get the chance to rewrite the story because you have the power here. You get to shift your perspective and make it into something that is your own. It doesn't have to be disempowering. It doesn't have to be I'm hearing victimization for some of you. If maybe you've been playing the victim, like we said before, world kind of being out to get you. You get to actually be the hero of your story in this. So Spirit is wanting to create with you. Spirit is wanting to like weave these pieces together and rewrite your story. So you just have to choose how you want to go about that. And with Coyote Spirit, Coyote represents the trickster. So it is these kind of mind games that we've been playing with ourselves of, we think we're of such benefit with some of these thoughts, or like holding up this fight, but really it's kind of like self-sabotaging in a way. And Coyote, being the trickster, is really good at easily self-sabotaging. This represents like a lot of foolish energy. They say even like Coyote's good at tricking themselves and not knowing exactly what they want. So watch how you're maybe trying to create illusions, or trick yourself out of what you really want, and maybe just letting go a little bit and opening up to the bigger picture instead of this sort of narrow-minded thinking. How could this actually all play out? And however I want it to play out, is it going to go exactly the way that I think it's going to go? It's interesting how we try to make up these stories in our head when we have no idea. But trusting your insight when it does come in, true insight, when you actually, maybe you need to sit in some time in meditation, trusting the actual insight, not the thoughts that are running through your head. And if you don't know the difference in that, it could be a good time to start learning how to look at those things differently. Okay, so moving into our last clarification with the Wild Offering Oracle. So we have the card Aging, Empowerment, Contentment, and Make It Gods. Yeah, so the aging, I feel like, I don't think this is just saying, sticking to, if you are aging, if you are maybe going through, for some of you, could be like a midlife crisis. Those are some like big areas that come to our attention, and we really might feel stuck, or our kids are grown up. We may have like not be working the job that we once were, and so we're kind of rediscovering our purpose. But this represents like any age. That doesn't necessarily happen like midlife crisis. It can happen at any point, whether you're becoming a new parent, whether you're leaving home for the first time. This just says, I am one with unlimited love beyond all seeming restrictions of age. I am filled with joy, energy, and beauty, a vessel for the divine Shakti. Um, yeah, and so maybe also I see with some of you for this like Six of Cups reversed, you could be taking some of the joy out of your life too, some of the playfulness. And so it feels maybe you're taking life too seriously. Maybe you're feeling older than you actually are. So, you know, you not taking life so seriously, and bringing some of that joy back into your life. And if maybe you didn't get a chance to actually be a kid, it's never too late to kind of shift gears. Yeah, because for some of you, I feel like that creative block is coming from some sort of wounding of whether it was childhood or just a certain aspect of yourself that maybe was like kind of drilled into your head that was like bad. And so now there's kind of this, you're kind of moving through the motions. You're not really fully integrating yourself. And that part really wants to be seen and heard right now, especially with this empowerment card. When you ask the divine to take over, you get pulled into your own authentic power. It's a force of inner love that wants your wholeness and magnificence. Unfold my true and radiant self. Yeah, I see that with the Sun card, the complete radiant self. And pulling it into your power. And there's still that representation of trust as well. So, you know, even though you feel like you might be disempowering yourself by kind of surrendering to some of this power, whatever you believe in, whether it's just higher self, you know, spirit, God, what have you, you might feel more disempowered doing this, but it's really actually an invitation for you to be more authentic. And yeah, making it God's, releasing the idea of my. As soon as you start to say the money, the relationship, the job, freedom arrives. When there's no grasping, the right actions get shown. Free me from the prison of my, dear spirit. So yeah, that kind of reframing of purpose. And with, I also see with the spider contrary, you maybe with this web, maybe you feel like you've severed yourself from this web, or this, maybe you feel like you don't know your purpose in life. This could be that, for some of you, maybe the dark night of the soul, and that's why the sun is really coming in to help you. Because you're reflecting on the past so much, to try and be like your guide, to think that's the only way of living. And it's severing you from, this force that wants to co-create with you. So it's not, it doesn't just belong to you. Like when you are able to step into your own power, then you build onto this web, you build and, are this expression of spirit, being embodied, and everyone benefits from that, whether they're in your immediate vicinity or it ripples outwards. You never know what kind of effect you can have. You know, if you've heard of the butterfly effect, even you shifting can affect someone that you don't even know. It's a very interesting concept. So that's something that was coming through. And with contentment, you can learn to rest in what you already have and already are. Suddenly you remember, I'm right here resting in spirit. Yeah, so you don't have to strive to be somebody that you're not. You don't have to be this trickster who kind of wears these masks in front of others and even just in front of yourself. You can only do that for so long before you kind of hit this block. So feel contentment in this block, in this experience that's happening right now, because that's the most difficult part, right? Is we want to change and feel like we have control, but the way we give our power, or the way we get our power, is to kind of give our power up to spirit to kind of take over, if that makes sense. More surrendering, and just allowing that you don't have to be anything other than what you are to create the life that you want. It all just kind of flows in order. And yeah, the idea of separateness is like really coming through, where you might be, again, like that sort of victimhood of everything's out to get you. And this idea of talking about like mine. Maybe you didn't, for some of you, what's coming through, you didn't have something of your own to really call in. Like maybe there were a lot of boundaries broken, or fights happening in your life where you never really got to have what you wanted. And so you really cling to whatever you can get because you're very afraid of losing it. And yeah, with this creative energy with Spider sort of like wrapped up in the illusion, you have to remember like what's really yours is never going to leave you and can't be taken from you. And you have so much that can't be taken from anybody. So this is going to illuminate some of those things for you, that you maybe need to cut away. And I see that with the Five of Swords too, like what you're clinging to, what you're holding on to. The fight just has to be let go of. That's something I'm really feeling like it's been exhausted to no end. There's nothing more that can be gleaned from this. So, yeah, trusting that this will work in your favor. And just taking a quick look at our planetary aspects. So we have a couple planets moving into Capricorn this week. We have Mars, our planet of drive and action, passions, what makes us kind of tick, is moving into Capricorn tomorrow on Monday, the 24th. And then we have Mercury is still retrograding, but on Tuesday, it's going to move back into Capricorn. So it's going to move back into the fourth decan. So the Four of Coins reversed, or I'm sorry, the first decan of Capricorn, but the Four of Pentacles energy reversed. So yeah, this is that like sort of clinging energy in the negative aspect. When it's in the positive, like we do have all these things, we do have all this support, and you can kind of see the web and weaving of like all of these treasures. Where are our resources coming from? What are we pulling in? What is ours? What do we really hold in this space? And with this being in the reverse, it's saying this clinging like our life depends on it. Like we're going to lose the money, we're going to lose the job, we're going to lose people. It's just control. So we keep whatever makes us feel safe really close to our heart. And with that being Mercury, this is really kind of in those realms of like thoughts of our values, how our mental processes work, especially with this like Capricorn energy. So this Five of Swords energy could really be highlighted as well. Of you're maybe getting to kind of rethink. Maybe some of you are rethinking a job because Capricorn really represents the workplace, and Mars moving into Capricorn, you could potentially meet that opportunity of moving into something that's more fulfilling. But Capricorn is like everything sort of like material plane. It's also like very family oriented, financially, career wise. It's all of these like structural, integral things that we are really, really adamant about. And Mars is like this really powerful masculine energy of ready to take action. So this could be that sun energy that's coming in as well. That's giving you the yes or the go ahead of, take that job. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to rewrite your life or rethink your life and how you want it to be structured. Whether it's just relationships that are no longer supporting you or family dynamic that you want to change. It could be you don't want to work anymore and you want to go travel, or you want to find new ways to save money. Maybe you haven't been good with money, and that's why you're so afraid of losing it, or you're afraid to spend money. It's unique to the individual. So however speaks to you. But there is that reflection of being bound up. So what, if you think about it, what is kind of making you feel bound up this week? And can you, surrender it a little bit and be open to maybe pivoting and changing direction, and letting yourself breathe for once, letting yourself just be who you are, be who you want to be. This is Spirit's permission to, yes, do that this week. Okay. Yeah, so, I would say the main message this week, is the true radiant self, finding the true radiant self, where you feel like your light affects others. Your light is seen so much that others want to share that light. Kind of this stepping out of the darkness, sort of thing. Yeah. Yeah, so a little bit intensive. This retrograde energy is sort of going through its last leg, so it's probably going to feel the most intense right now. And we will have a period of time where we don't have any retrogrades, and we haven't had that for the last couple years. There's just been so much retrograding going on. So, taking in everything, allowing that clearing up so you have that time to take action as well. Because I feel like this sun card is what's sticking out and being really important in this reading. So take that image to mind, and remember to follow your own radiant sun as well. Okay. All right. I think that is everything that Spirit wants to come forward with this week. So I hope that was helpful to you. Please comment below, like and subscribe if it really resonated with you. Chat like your little story if you want to share. I love hearing and sharing your stories. And again, thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you all a good week, and we will see you for the next video. Thank you so much. Take care.